You want a nightmare? Not the kind that jolts you awake in the middle of the night, but the kind that shatters your trust. The kind that makes you question everything you thought you knew? Then listen, because this is mine. I'm 28, married for 3 years to a man I thought I could rely on. We have a 1-year-old daughter together, and up until last week, I believed he would be there for me when it truly mattered. But I was wrong. So very, devastatingly wrong. It started with a feeling, an unsettling fatigue, nausea, an odd weakness creeping through me. I brushed it off at first, thinking it was just exhaustion. But then one morning, I woke up drenched in sweat, shivering uncontrollably, my body aching in ways I can't even describe. I knew something was very, very wrong. I could barely move, let alone take care of our daughter. So I did the only thing I could. I called my husband. I told him I needed him, urgently, and he promised he'd come home. An hour passed, then 2. My phone chimed with text after text. Just finishing up something, then stuck in traffic, then had to stop for gas. Excuse after excuse. While I lay there, barely able to lift my head, my body spiraling deeper into whatever hell it was fighting. Something wasn't right. A terrible feeling gnawed at me, clawing at my gut. So, with trembling fingers, I texted one of his coworkers, someone I knew he was close with. The reply I got made my blood run cold. He hasn't left yet. He's still here. I couldn't believe it. He had lied to me, over and over. While I was helpless, feverish, barely conscious, he had chosen to stay at work. Panic set in. I knew I couldn't wait any longer. I called my neighbor, a kind older woman who had always been there for me. She came rushing over, helped me dress, and drove me straight to the hospital. And it's a good thing she did. Turns out, I had a severe urinary tract infection that had silently escalated into a kidney infection. My heart rate was dangerously high. The doctors told me, point blank, that if I had waited much longer, I could have gone into septic shock. I could have died. 2 hours later, as I lay there in a hospital bed, hooked up to IVs, shaking from fever, my husband finally decided to show up. I didn't even want to look at him. He fumbled for words, his excuses pathetic, meaningless. I didn't realize it was that bad. I was just trying to wrap things up at work. But none of it mattered, because the reality was, he had chosen not to come. He had lied to me when I needed him the most. And now, I can't stop asking myself, what does this mean for us? For our marriage? For our daughter? If he ignored me in a life-threatening situation once, what happens next time? Can I ever trust him again? Because right now, I don't know if I can.